This is Speak Up in Close Relationships, Shifting the Dynamic. I'm Amy Colombo, a transformative life coach, a nurse coach, and a single mother to 3 boys. Let me know how you would characterize your ability to speak up or how you feel about it. My intention for you today is to understand that speaking up is about being the woman, mother, wife that you want to be. It is not about avoiding conflict. It's not even about getting your way or getting the outcome that you desire. If there's one thing that you can start doing today that is fully within your control and power, that would show you who you really are and prove to yourself that you're actually the woman that you want to be, a confident, courageous, brave woman who doesn't just lay down and decide that she's screwed, that she actually believes she's worthy of speaking up and attempting to get her needs met, coming together with someone, getting someone on her team. This is the one thing that's really going to do that for you. And this has really shifted the dynamic in every single one of my relationships, my friendships, with my kids, with my exes, even with clients, because I have really leaned into exactly what I'm going to speak about today. Today, we're diving into a conversation that many of us avoid, but desperately need: how to speak up in close relationships to shift the dynamic for connection, clarity, and courage. So I'm specifically thinking of those close relationships, friendships, your husband, your partner, your kids. These are the relationships that we're actually keeping quiet in because we love these people. We're very close to them and we're fearing conflict. And we don't want to get caught up in some kind of a situation that we're perceiving is going to create more of a disconnect. But what I want you to walk away with today is that by speaking up, by being courageous and brave, and by using this process that I'm going to share with you, you're actually going to foster more clarity, more connection, and more teamwork in these relationships. They're actually going to bring you closer to these people. Speaking up is about being the woman, mother, wife you want to be. That is the goal, not getting your way. As a matter of fact, I'd be ready when you speak up to be prepared for any possible outcome, worst case scenario, best case scenario, and everything in between. But when you're readying for a conversation, you're shifting your mind to, this is me being the woman that I want to be, a woman who leads, initiates, isn't afraid of having the hard, difficult conversations. And if you are afraid, you're practicing courage and bravery. Remember, courage and bravery feel like, I'm afraid. That's exactly what they feel like, but you're doing it anyway. You're taking a risk and a chance at actually getting what you need and want and creating more closeness in the relationship. So here are the 5 steps that I'm going to go through. Number 1 is safety. Safety, safety, safety. Number 1. Number 2, intention. Getting clear on your intention. Number 3, listen and seek clarity. Number 4, validate their perspective. I'm going to get into that. And number 5, request boundary agreement. Okay. So number 1, rule of thumb in speaking up: you go first. If you're waiting around for someone to approach you about something that needs to be discussed, you're giving your power away. Initiate the conversation. This shows maturity, leadership, and empowerment. Accessing your self-expression. It's not about them. It's about you being fully expressed and not harboring secrets within. Whenever we're not saying something, we are keeping a secret, which fosters shame or resentment inside of ourselves. And if there's anything more unloving and that creates distance in a relationship, it is secrets and things that are going unsaid and creating shame and resentment within you towards that person. So just think that saying the thing that's hard is the most loving thing that's actually a step towards them. Getting clear on what is being brought up by this other person and what you need. You just may be able to give it to yourself first. Always go there, always process the emotions when we're having a difficult conversation. Choose a moment that is calm and strategically planned. We don't do this in the moment that we're triggered. That is easy. And for a lot of people, that is the only time that they've given themselves permission to speak up is when they're that angry. But I want to tell you with certainty that that is actually not the time to speak up. That is the time to be quiet and shut up and go process your emotions. And this is coming from someone who is a big external aggressive projector hothead. Like that never does anything for anybody. So processing our own emotions. If you're like in it, if you're really triggered, we need to get to the other side of that first on our own and come to a calm, grounded place before we open up this conversation. Going through the steps, safety, safety, safety. Safety means you getting safe inside of you first, using your tools to process your uncomfortable emotions, getting calm, grounded, centered, whether it's tapping or breathing or journaling. But you want to get safe first, and then you're going to bring safety into the conversation. And safety inside of you is palpable energetically to them. And if there's any kind of defense that you have against them getting defensive, it is safety, energetic safety. You don't have to be perfect at this, but just know that regulating your emotions is your job. And the more safe, the more loving and calm and neutral you can come into the conversation, the more open they will be. Because as soon as energetically we sense like danger or anger, we're right on the defense. The example that I'm going to use is, we'll call her Sarah. And I think you can all identify with Sarah because Sarah is me, except she's married, which I'm not. So Sarah is a middle-aged nurse coach. She's got a full-time job. She is starting her business and she's got 2 kids and a husband. And her husband has become complacent and she's left feeling depleted, unloved, overburdened. She's simmering with anger and resentment, and she feels the emotional and mental responsibility of the entire household, and she needs help. So her goal is to actually open up a conversation. So after she gets safe inside herself and she processes a lot of what's emotionally happening and makes the decision to have the conversation, okay, she's going to bring safety in. So no text, no email, and schedule this one-on-one. Even one other person is an audience. So Sarah is going to text her husband while he's at work, let him know that she wants to have a conversation with him tonight after the kids go to bed. Or we schedule it on a weekend, but you want to have this conversation without an audience, one-on-one. This brings safety and vulnerability in. People will be way more apt to be less defensive and more vulnerable and even apologetic if need be when we're one-on-one. I think of this just in nursing, whenever I would see things being said, like at the nurse's station in front of a crowd, never the time, ever. Never the time. As a manager, I have made that mistake several times over, always pulling someone in. And interestingly, what people think about pulling someone to the side and speaking to them one-on-one, they're under the false mistake that, oh, that's making a big deal of it. No, it's actually showing maturity and respect to pull someone into a private area one-on-one. That's what that is. Number 2, getting clear on your intention. Why? Why do you want to have this conversation? Get clear. Get clear on your core values. I want to have this conversation because I want to speak a truth that I've been harboring. I don't want to keep this inside me anymore and harbor resentment towards you. I want to actually take a chance at getting my needs met and having a better outcome in this household. So for Sarah, Sarah's intention isn't to blame, but to express her feelings and to seek a collaborative solution. She wants to feel like more of a team with her husband and not like the maid and the caretaker and the household manager, as well as working a full-time job and starting a business. She wants help. She needs help. When she opens this up, she uses her I statement. So instead of pointing the finger at her husband and being like, you're not doing this and you're not doing that, we never ever start a conversation like that. We let them know what our intention is. So it's, hey, honey, I just want you to know that this is an important conversation of me sharing what my needs are and attempting to get my needs met. And I want to get us on a team together. So that's her intention. And she uses her I statements, focusing on her feelings. I've been feeling overwhelmed. I've been feeling overburdened. I'm starting this new venture. I really could use some help here. I really could use you pitching in and doing blank, blank, blank. So that's getting clear and stating your intention. And it's always positive. It's always to bring you two together. I just had a conversation with my kids. We had a family meeting, and I stated the intention in the beginning. I said the intention of this meeting is to come into agreement for a set of core values for our family and to know what's important to each and every one of us, and to actually move forward feeling like we all know what our jobs and our responsibilities are. And it was a conversation about chores and food, but that's how I started it. This is really powerful. So number one, safety. Number two, set the intention and state it. Let them know. People can get nervous when you schedule a conversation with them. Let them know nothing's gone wrong. I'm actually have something I want to share with you. I have some help that I need that I want to share with you. I want to be closer to you. The relationship is more important to me. And when we're speaking up in a relationship that is close to us, the relationship, the connection is always the priority. And just stating that in the beginning can bring safety and bring down defenses. Number three, listen and seek clarity. Listen and seek clarity. So after you open up the conversation and you start sharing how you feel, now they're going to share back. And you want to listen. Just like the same respect that you want to be heard, you want to be listened to, you're going to do the same thing with them. Listen and don't take the bait if they are critical or deflecting in any way. Permission to ignore passive aggressive comments if need be. Bring you back to the topic at hand. Yes, I hear you talking about X, and this conversation is about Y. Let's stick to the topic at hand so that we don't get confused. And then we can come back to that at the end, or we can schedule another conversation. Less is more, and saying the same thing over and over, especially if they keep kind of going somewhere. Grounding, supporting your nervous system is really vital here, staying present and just clarifying. So what I'm hearing you say is blank. It sounds like X is important to you based on what you shared. So you are seeking clarity. You're clarifying what you've heard. You're not necessarily agreeing, but you're actively listening and you're seeking clarity and understanding of their perspective in this conversation. It's not all about you. So whenever we're speaking up, and I think nurses could really, maybe this will actually feel better for you to speak up, that it's actually a dialogue. It's not a monologue. I think people get caught up in like black and white. Either I'm silent or I'm asserting my needs. And it's not. Every time we are asserting our needs, every time we are speaking up, we are showing mutual respect, love, and connection for ourselves, but for them as well. So we need to be willing to listen to them. You can understand them and not agree. Agreement is not necessary for understanding. So with our example of Sarah, her husband perhaps responds defensively and says, I didn't realize you felt this way. I thought things were fun. So Sarah stays grounded. She puts her hand on her heart. She's breathing throughout. She listens. And then she says, it sounds like you were unaware of how this was affecting me. So she's seeking clarity. Or if he gets defensive and says something like, well, I'm working and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And yeah, it sounds like maybe you feel a little bit similar to me. Like maybe you feel like you've got a lot on your plate too. Is that what I'm hearing? So again, you're seeking clarity. You're not taking the bait. You're not going tit for tat. You're actually hearing the words, but getting underneath and validating the feelings, right? So maybe he's frustrated too. Maybe he's got a lot on his plate too. And he's just now saying it because maybe he was keeping silent as well. So you're listening, reflecting, seeking clarity. There's nothing to fix. We're just validating feelings here. And this will really help them to feel seen and heard in the conversation. I opened up this conversation with my kids. One of my sons got very defensive initially, and I just kept rerouting it and just said, yeah, I hear you being worried that this is some kind of a blame shame conversation, but I want to assure you that it's not. No one's done anything wrong. That's what I said. No one's done anything wrong here. Mom is just having a conversation so that we can get clear on what's important to us. And I want to express some of my personal needs, right? Sometimes I tell my kids, mom's a human. That's something I've been saying a lot lately. Again, I don't have a spouse, but I have adult children. Like, mom's a human, mom has needs. And maybe you haven't seen me as such before because, right, kids think their parents are gods and superhuman. But even just saying that in a very like non-punitive, non-blaming way, or just saying this is not a blaming conversation. No one's done anything wrong. I'm just feeling really depleted, and I'm actually recruiting you guys on my team to get some help. And can we all agree that we care about each other in this family, that we care about each other's needs and about the inner peace and harmony that's happening? Usually everyone can agree to that. So getting some kind of like common ground that you can all agree on. So number 4 is validating their perspective and their feelings, which we just kind of talked about, but their values and their perspective. And what I want to bring in here, okay, and work for you to do is that your values are not theirs. They might be different. Maybe they're the same, but they might be different. And again, I'm going to bring my kids into this. Kids do not value chores and housework, at least not in this house. I do. I value tidiness and chores and housework and things being organized, but they do not. And they have a right. They have a right to value their friends and their jobs and like being able to sleep in and just having lots of freedom. Right? Those are their values. So again, just me understanding that this is my need. A clean, tidy house is my need. I don't have to make it their need. I'm expressing need and recruiting them onto my team. This doesn't have to be important to you. I just want you to know it's important to me, and I really could use your help here. Again, being vulnerable, asking for help, giving them the permission to not have your same needs or see it in your same perspective. You just want to recruit them onto your team because they care about you and you care about them. So validate their feelings, their values, and their perspective. This is different than agreeing with them. You can completely disagree, but validate you heard what they said to you and that you even understand their perspective and what is important to them, even if it's not important to you. And this is huge with us as parents because, again, kids, even adult kids, and especially little kids, do not value the same thing. We value them getting those shoes on and getting to their sport on time. And they value just staying on their tablet in that moment and just kind of seeing it as such, right? Seeing it as kids want to just play and do whatever they want to do. And that is what they value. So getting them somewhere on time is your value, is your need, not theirs. And they don't have to have that need, but just recruiting them and creating a more collaborative way to get them to their sport on time. You can completely disagree, but validate what you heard and what they said to you and understand what is important to them. Even if it's not important to you, you may mirror what you heard if you need clarification. You may seek clarification on them hearing what you stated in the beginning if they didn't address it at all. And I just want to share that I have an ex who is very defensive, like very defensive. And I opened up a conversation with him a few months ago, and he responded with a real like defensive zinger and made it all about him. And he was like, oh, so I'm just da 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 da. And I said, like, I paused and I said, is that what you heard me say? Did you hear me say that you are a piece of crap and a this and a that? Did you hear me say that? And he's like, no. And then he like backed up and it made him think. And he's like, no, but that's what you mean. And I said, oh, okay. Well, I just want to clarify. That's not what I meant. I'm actually just opening up a conversation to share what my needs are. I'm not blaming or shaming you. I don't think you've done anything wrong. I don't even think that you're aware that I feel this way. are you even aware? And he's like, no, I'm not. And I actually completely shifted and got him out of that defensiveness. And whew, I had to brush my shoulder there. I was like, good job, Amy. But we can have those people that are just really like kind of ready to fight. And that one question, like if they come out with something, just you said something and they go totally there, you're like, wait a minute, hang on. Did you hear me say that? Are those the words that you heard come out of my mouth? And then they're just like, oh, no. So these are just like little things that when you pause and you stay grounded and calm and safe in your body, and you continue to seek clarification and continue to keep the topic on the topic without over explaining, you can have a really good outcome in a conversation and everyone can leave feeling good. And P.S. at the end of that conversation, whereas in the past, me and him would have ended up in a screaming match and just really like that's how we used to be. Now, at the end of every conversation, we come together. He even thanks me for my conversations now. I have completely shifted the dynamic in our communication, this process that I'm sharing with you. So this works. So we are on validate. So with Sarah, validation doesn't mean agreement. It means acknowledging the other person's feelings. And Sarah says, I understand that you've been focused on work and didn't see the full picture at home. I appreciate you listening to me now. How can we come together on this? You know, what are you willing to do? This is what I could really use help in. Are you willing to do this? Or do you see yourself doing something different? Really leaving it open, having an idea of the help that you need, but with people that are close to us, also being willing to hear what their ideas are, what they're willing to help us with. This acknowledgement can diffuse defensiveness and open the door to collaboration. And step 5, the last step of this conversation process, is request boundary agreement. This is the last part to the conversation to restate your intention, to get my needs met, to share a truth, and to bring you on my team to help me because I need help, and to go ahead and make your very specific request, state your boundary, establish the new agreement, or agree to disagree and move forward. And this is how the conversation ends. So now when Sarah makes her request, can we create a plan to share household responsibilities more evenly? Can we create a schedule where you drive the kids to their sports sometimes and I drive the kids to their sports? Can we create a schedule where I have a 4-hour block on the weekend where I can work on my business? This is her asking for the collaboration, but having a very clear idea of knowing what her requests are. So know what those requests are, those very specific requests are, or the boundary, or whatever it is. This is going to really help facilitate the conversation. And lots of times our loved ones want very specific requests. So even if it's like, hey, can you do the dishes or load the dishwasher and unload the dishwasher on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and I'll do Tuesdays and Thursdays, like having it very, very specific. And then, okay, let's do a little check-in. So also keeping everyone accountable. How are we going to check in on this? How are we going to stay accountable to this? And just setting up the plan from there. And my goal is for us to feel like partners, that we're supporting each other. And to be honest, I haven't felt very supported. I've said this before, and then I've gotten in, oh my gosh, like, I'm so sorry. I didn't know you felt this way. And I would just say, no, that's okay. That's what this conversation is. I think people are so into this habit of like, oh my God, I can't believe you felt this way. You should have spoke up sooner. And it's like, I'm speaking up right now. Like that's what this is. This is me. Sometimes we don't know something's missing until it's missing, or until it's missing for a while. So if you have one of those people, like my ex is, it's almost like a reflex. It's like, you should have told me sooner. You should have done this. He even does that like with our kid. And I continue to say, that's what I'm doing now. Like I've felt the courage now. I've finally decided I'm brave enough now. I've been processing my feelings up until now. Or it hasn't been an issue until now. But this is me doing the exact thing you're telling me I should have done before. No, I'm doing it now. This is me being brave, and also like having that much respect for you, of giving you the opportunity to show up for me. We want to give our loved ones the benefit of the doubt that they actually care about us. So many of us are stuck in this like false narrative that they don't care or they don't want to. And you know, to be fair, people have their own agenda and their own needs, but generally our loved ones give a shit about us, and they would love it if we would speak up and be more clear about what our needs are. So give it a go. Just to summarize, bringing up difficult conversations is a sign of maturity, respect, and love and bravery. It's about you being the courageous woman who goes after what she wants and doesn't keep secrets and harbor resentment and shame and just believing that no one gives a shit about her. This is really you being the woman you want to be. So number one, you go first. It's always you. You're the initiator, you're the leader. You go first, you initiate this conversation. It's about you expressing your needs and feelings without blame and being open to a deeper connection and clarification of them, listening to them, getting clear, knowing your intention, knowing what your request is, knowing what your boundary is. A lot of times when we're in an upheaval in our heads and we do our emotional processing, we realize that we can actually help ourselves. We can actually meet our own needs. And then if there is a piece of it that we need from someone else, then we speak up, we advocate, we open up the conversation. Stay grounded, stay safe, bring safety in, make your request, set your boundary. You've got this. If you're here with me and you're feeling that inner fire, the desire to become a more confident, courageous, brave version of yourself that advocates for your needs with strength and grace to pursue the life you truly want while navigating the adversity and complexities of our emotional pain body that naturally come with a human existence, then I'm offering a free clarity call, a powerful session where we will outline your vision and goals, identify your blocks and challenges holding you back, and create a personalized roadmap to help you reach your destination of where you want to get to. And here's a little something special. For those who book this call now after watching this live, I'm offering an exclusive bonus. If you decide to say yes to working with me in either, I have two offers. I have a group, which I'm about to launch. I also have a 6-month one-to-one container, and I have 2 spots available for June in that. If you decide to say yes after this clarity call, I will give you a $500 incentive discount off the total price of the container, as well as free ticket to my upcoming virtual inner child healing retreat. I'm doing my next one in September. So those are the 2 exclusive bonuses that I'm offering to anyone that has been curious. If you've been curious, if you've been wanting to work with me, now's the time, because I've never offered this special bonus before. I'm not offering it again. And I would love to be your coach and help you navigate all that you're experiencing and really become the woman who advocates for herself, because it not only affects you in a positive way, it affects everybody else around you. And I have seen the positive changes in my household and in my friendships, with my ex, with my clients. This really is an amazing ripple effect. So drop the word clarity below or get in my DMs and leave the word clarity to take me up on this offer for this awesome call and these special bonuses. Bye, everyone. Thanks for hanging out with me.